Television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
Gandhi, India's martyred Mahatma. This is the Gandhi story. The story of the fight of one man for 300 million. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, born of low-caste parents in 1869, came into dramatic prominence immediately after World War I. Gandhi's efforts on behalf of his country enlisted the attention of the world. Aided by Madeleine Slade, his English-born disciple, he campaigned for two goals: self-government of India and elevation of the depressed classes. Gandhi's policies, planned to force Britain's recognition of his demands, included civil disobedience and non-violent non-cooperation. But it was these policies, born of sincerity, that invoked his people to riot, strikes, and sabotage. In 1921, Gandhi lost control of his followers, and their misinterpretation of his dictates caused him to impose upon himself the penalty of fasting. With their leader imprisoned in 1930, Gandhi's legions rose against the British. Furious fighting developed in Bombay and other cities. This was a people in protest. This their means of informing the world that their leader was unjustly a British prisoner. Keep your eye on the screen. You're watching India in revolt. You're seeing Gandhi's followers in futile efforts against Britain's armed authority. Scenes like this occurred almost daily in India's principal cities. And then, after 8 months in central prison, Gandhi was released to attend a round-table discussion in London. In 1931, Gandhi arrives home from England. Jailed first in 1922, then again in 1930, once more he is arrested after his arrival and placed in custody in central prison. Again his people protested, but outbreaks were fewer and less violent. Released from prison after months of being held, Gandhi immediately made plans for bringing about the independence of India. First step in his campaign was a visit to Lord and Lady Mountbatten. Here the Mahatma began the drive that was to lead to self-government for his country after support came from Britain's official representative. The 1938 election indicated Gandhi's power. Although Subhash Chandra Bose won presidency of the India Congress, Gandhi, allied with Sardar Patel, forced his resignation. Here Muhammad Ali Jinnah and the Mahatma's disciple, Pundit Nehru, arrived to confer with Gandhi. Nehru, 4-time president, was to see the final result of Gandhi's years of supreme effort: independence for India. In 1947, Lord Mountbatten, Nehru, and others signed the historic document that meant freedom from British domination for Gandhi's countrymen and his country. The world that had watched the Mahatma's suffering and sacrifice now witnessed the fulfillment of his dream. But his fight was not over. Factional disturbances broke out, with Gandhi on the scene exerting influence to pacify Hindu, Muslim, and Sikh leaders. Then, January 30th, 1948, saw the funeral of Mahatma Gandhi, victim of an assassin's bullet, January 23rd. As the flower-bedecked urn in which rested the ashes of the great leader was driven through the streets towards the Ganges River, all India mourned its hero. All the world mourned a peace-minded patriot. But the leader's heritage, freedom, remains. And as the barge which carries the ashes of Mahatma Gandhi across the Ganges moves slowly downriver, the Gandhi story ends. India had lost a leader. Peace had lost a friend.
Parachutes for planes. It's April 29, and stunt flying Roscoe Turner takes off on an early experiment in flying safety. And there it is. Turner and his ship are settling toward Earth, a huge parachute keeping the plane from plummeting to the ground. Believed a definite part of aviation of the future at the time of its introduction, subsequent tests proved unsatisfactory, and the parachute plan relegated to the impractical category. One of the reasons for this might well have been the result of this stunt. Wheels and propeller broken, but Turner unhurt.
It's 1930, and novelist Sinclair Lewis sails for Sweden to receive the Nobel Prize. Author of Main Street, Babbitt, and other fictional accounts of Americana, Lewis, shown with his wife, Dorothy Thompson, will receive $46,350 for his contributions to literature. Here is the author of Elma Gantry, Dodsworth, and Arrowsmith, Sinclair Lewis.
You should know this young lady, although you might not know her in this role. She's the gal who introduced the bunny hug, the castle walk, and the castle clip hairdo. Irene Castle, of course, who with her husband Vernon formed the most famous dance team of the pre-World War I period.
And here he is, the bullfighter from Brooklyn, Sidney Franklin. Shown in action in Madrid, Franklin forsook Flatbush and fought his first bull in Mexico City. Why, well, in 1929, he earned up to $15,000 a week. That, we might imagine, is one reason anyhow. Worst disaster in New Zealand history occurs in 1931, as every building in the city of Napier lies in ruins after an earthquake. Pictures made shortly after the quake show the severity of the blow. 300 died and roads split like this as a result of the debacle. Graphic view of the cracks which opened when nature beckoned and man-made highways failed to answer the challenge. Business district of the city shows results of the quake. 2 individual shocks 10 hours apart did the damage. 1,500 were injured and temporary shelter housed unfortunates while work of rebuilding began. Remember, not a single building was untouched. Property damage ran high into the millions. This was Napier, the city that became merely a silhouette.
Let's go back now to 1919 for a look at the first great movie director and 2 of the earliest of the movie stars. In action here is the man who made The Birth of a Nation, D.W. Griffith. Director Griffith receives official acknowledgement from the United States government of his war bond work. But what about the actor and the actress we saw in the background? We'll be back to identify them in a moment, right after government officials finish congratulating D.W. Griffith. Yes, here they are. Recognize them? Okay, we'll make it easy for you. The girl is the star of early Griffith productions, Dorothy Gish. The boy on her left is Robert Harron. The government honors Hollywood's renowned D.W. Griffith.
Slacks was slick in 1934, especially this beach outfit, which starred knee-length jacket and V-neck blouse. Mandarin-sleeved beach coat covers a one-piece bathing suit with high rounded neckline. More smart styles for the sands. Striped terrycloth robe surrounds a swimsuit with the same motif. Back to slacks for an outfit that's stunning for sunning. Loose-fitting knee-length coat features a leaf pattern. Say, what's coming off here? Heavens to Betsy, and what have we? Why, it's a one-piece jersey bathing suit woven for the waves, but with an eye to the eye of the men.
Basketball in 1936, Notre Dame versus NYU. Notre Dame takes the ball down court and scores. jump ball after 2 pointers in 1936, and Notre Dame, controlling the tap, puts on some fancy passing that finds NYU fading into a zone defense. A long set shot from outside, and it's good. NYU on the move, a bit of deception, and an NYU score. Again, it's an NYU shot, this time at the end of a cross-court pass and a one-handed hook. New York University fights hard, but Notre Dame cops 38-27. It's Florida Derby time in Hialeah, March 1931. Watch this race. It has the closest finish you've ever seen. Try and spot number 6. That's Lightning Bolt, lagging back in 5th place as Spanish Plague, number 4, shows its fleet heels to the field. At the first turn, Mein Herr is second, and Lightning Bolt is content to stay behind. At the backstretch, the jockeys are going for the whips, leaning low over the heads of their horses to keep wind resistance down. Keep your eye on the screen. Lightning Bolt is making his move. He comes from 4th place into 3rd, and he's moving fast. Watch him. The horses are rounding the far turn, moving toward the wire, and as they hit for home, Lightning Bolt, Spanish Plague, and Mein Herr are neck and neck, thundering down to the finish. Watch closely now. Here come the horses, and there's the winner. Lightning Bolt by the tip of a nose in a pip of a race.